it's finally happened, folks. It has finally happened. Blackburn Rovers have dropped their retained list. That's right, heading into postseason. Who's going? Who's staying? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks. Blackburn's giving another video. Today, it is all about Blackburn Rovers' retained list. That's right. It's hot off the press. Just dropped earlier this afternoon, or early evening, depending on where you are in the world. And there's a couple of surprises. And, of course, some news that we were expecting. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in just a second. Of course, if you do, where you been, smash your subscribe button. You want subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, World Football, Championship Football. We're going to, here, under one Rooski. We're going to get into the retained list in just 1 second. I want a big shout out to the members and the Patreons before we do that. But let's go through it. And, of course, a bit of heartbreak in there, as it always is at this time of the season. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this, guys. It is the retained list. And it was, of course, not much good news to come out of it. The only bit of good news I could tell is we have one senior member of the squad confirmed that has activated a 1-year option. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, what that meant, but I do believe it's Ryan Hedges, the main man I'm talking about here. I'll talk about him in just a second, but let's confirm some youngsters have extended their stay with us. Adam Khan has, Zach Strict, and Harrison Wood. But the main takeaway is, of course, Ryan Hedges. Now, he is a senior pro, and he has been on the books with Rovers for a few years now, and he seems to have found the secret sauce to Valérien Ismaël's cup of tea. He knows how to make him a good cup of tea because he was kind of confirmed early doors. Big Val seems to be a big fan of Ryan Hedges. As for the Rovers faithful, the fans, of course, not necessarily the first name on the team sheet. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Ryan Hedges being here at Ewood next season is a decent option. He can play in a variety of positions. He's a kind of universal kind of player, which is something that we kind of lack. We need those kind of players that are going to be, square pegs in round holes. And I know that's not necessarily what we want, but we want square pegs for square holes. But just think about the caliber of an Elliot Bennett when he was here. He was, of course, very universal, could play in a lot of positions when we needed it. Do I see him as a starting player next season? Don't think so. But when you do look at the grand scheme of things, further down this retained list, it does go to show that certain members of the first team who are in contract may not be here next season, and we'll go into that. But Hedges, for me, is a good utility player and one that we can, he has his moments. He does live off that Watford wonder goal, but he does have his moments. So let's go into the deeper thick of things then, shall we? Is the new contracts segment of the bit of news. And there's some, take this new contract news with a bit of salt. It's nothing's been accepted. I do expect the vast majority of these players to accept, but ultimately, there is a name that stands out in there, and we'll go into it. But these are the players that have been offered new contracts. They're on the table right now, yet to be accepted, but hopefully should be accepted for the vast majority of folks over the next coming days into weeks. Danny Bart, of course, what a player. We'll talk about in a minute. Jake Batty, Tyree Stolen's in there, but, Felix Goddard, the goalkeeper, Lorenzi Malarkey, Matthews, what a name that is, and Andy Wyman, of course. So each one of those senior pros, they're talking 3 of those, that list there. Ideally, in all honesty, I want them all to sign. I would want them all to sign. Danny Bart has been a trooper at the back. Of course, he's phenomenal. Warrior at the back, him and Dom Hyam, dream partnership. And I do think there's the prospect of those two playing a key part for our success moving forward. I think with Danny Bart, with Dom Hyam, with Scotty Wharton, with Hayden Carter, we have 4 solid centre-backs there. And I don't think we need to tweak it too much moving forward. Don't get me wrong, if there are some good options out there, free transfers or loans that we can bring in to help boost the centre-back offerings, I'll go for it. But Danny Barth, Dom Hyam, Hayden Carter, Scotty Wharton, I think we have definitely a competition for that centre-back spots. If we go for 4 at the back, 4 at the back. If we go 3 at the back, then we might need to expand our centre-back options. But Danny Bart should be with us moving forward, and hopefully he signs. Meanwhile, Andy Wyman, of course, a wonder goal spectacular against Burnley, phenomenal player. Great player to have off the bench. Don't get me wrong, he does start games. He did start games, and he was our top goal scorer for the vast majority of the season. Injuries, of course, hampered that towards the end of it. But ultimately, I want him to sign. I think he's a great pro, and I was very excited when he did sign. I knew there was a lot of fuel left in those legs, and I'm on the same mindset moving into this coming summer. He's solid. He can score goals. The goals might cut back a little bit, but definitely have him. Last 20 minutes, he knows where to be. He knows where the back is. Definitely sign that ladder. Or it's actually Andy Wyman. Now it's up to you. The ball is in your court. Please sign on the dotted line, brother. We need you next season. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. It is Tyree Stolen. They do say a contract has been offered, but ultimately he ain't going it. He's not going to be here next season. If he is, you know what? It would be a massive boost for us. Now, maybe he's just considering his options. He's not ruling anything out. The offer's on the table. He'll go look around. There was already rumours about Middlesbrough. There's already rumours about Celtic. There's already rumours about Rangers. So to play Champions League football with Celtic or to play European football with Rangers, maybe Catmull can have a word in his ear to say, hey, it's not all that's cracked up to be. And Middlesbrough definitely is an iffy one as well. So I honestly do think Tyree Stolen has played his last game of football for Blackburn Rovers. So the offer's on the table. Maybe they did stick an extra zero on the pay packet. And maybe they'll have to make him the highest paid earner on the books right here, right now. Do you think he deserves that? I don't think so. I think we could use that money elsewhere. When you look at the free transfer market, there are a lot of players out there. And I'd be more excited to see where that money could go. I think what we would offer Tyree Stolen, if for him to accept, we could probably get 2, maybe even 3 players of a decent caliber to fill his shoes. So yeah, but I wouldn't be pissed off if he signed. I'd actually be low key excited if he did sign because he's an asset and he's worth probably in today's market on a contract 8 million. I'd say 8 million. So we're kind of losing it a little bit. So if we could invest 2 million in him, 2.5 million somehow, but with a contract, you do the math, divide that by 3 years or something like that. I mean, let me do the math. Let me do that math here, right here, right now. So 3 million. Let's say 3 million. We invest 3 million in the lad. Divide that by what am I looking at? 150. 20 grand a week. 20 grand a week. If you go for him 20 grand a week, if he takes it, that's 3 million. You probably only have him for a couple of seasons, maybe even a season. You could probably sell him for 8. That's it. I'm the bloody the financier for Blackburn Rovers. Moving forward to the bit of sour news here as the players that are leaving the club. A lot of youngsters on here. Please forgive me, but they all count. They were all on the Rovers books. But this is what we're talking about. Alex Baker no longer with us. Lewis Bell, Tom Bloxham, who did get a goal for Rovers in a League Cup match, I do believe. Reece Doherty, Jordan Easton seems like he's been on the books forever for Rovers as one of the backup goalkeepers. Stephen Edmondson, he's gone. So and then the final 3 there of this slide is Adam Forshaw. We'll talk about him in a minute. Patrick Gamble, it was a bit of a gamble letting him go, and Zach Gilson. That's right. Let's start with Patrick Gamble, of course, youngster, defender. I see a lot of disgruntled fans seeing his name on the departing list. Of course, he couldn't break through to the senior team for them. He did feature a few games on the bench, and he did get a few minutes, I believe, whether it was in the league or League Cup. It is a shame, and again, it's part of growing up, it's part of football life. We can't keep them all, and some of these guys, and I've seen it. We have seen it all, where senior pros have left Blackburn Rovers and gone on to fester or create themselves a career elsewhere. Look at the likes on the other side of the coin. Tyree Stolen let go by Preston North End and picked up by Rovers, and of course he's gone on to make himself a decent career. And Patrick Gamble, I do believe, will be playing significantly high football when the time comes. He might have to go down League 2 or maybe even non-league, but I do think he'll be back, and of course will be a decent player for somebody further down the line. Moving forward, Zach Gilson. Now this one hurts. This one stings. Because look at him, look at that face. You can't just hate that face. He is a creative wizard. He's just been really hampered by injuries. He's got a couple of goals as well for Rovers throughout the past couple of seasons. And it sucks. It sucks. I don't know why. Maybe he was asking for too much money. I don't know. but it does sting. The injuries are a major concern, and that is probably one of the main reasons why we've decided to let go. But this one for me, probably the worst decision out of the lot. Because he's young, still he might be turning a page here in age wise. Let me have a quick look at his age. I'm not too sure how old he is, but he's definitely in his 20s. 22 years of age. You know, he should be playing regular football. He's only played twice for Rovers in the league, 5 times in total. He scored 2 goals though, but it's a shame. It is a shame. Let's hope he does. You know, he was formerly on the books of Barcelona. That's right. Liverpool as well. He's been there, seen it and done it. He's got all the T-shirts, but he hasn't got Rovers T-shirt anymore. So Zach Gilson has gone. And meanwhile, first team semi-regular from January anyway. Adam Forshaw has come and gone. There is a disclaimer in the tweet or the post out there that we may revisit Adam Forshaw. I guess it's a situation, or he's actually considering his other options, and maybe we'll all come back to the table sometime into the future. But honestly, this is what I want to talk about here. Adam Forshaw has been let go, has been released, and the contract is not there right now. So the point about Adam Forshaw here is that he was ahead of the likes of John Buckley and Joe Costello in the pecking order of the final games of the season under Big Val. So that means, realistically, if you read between the lines, Joe Costello and John Buckley are more than likely played their last games for Blackburn Rovers as well. They'll probably be sold or moved onwards in one way or another, whether it is a loan or whether it's a permanent thing. And I honestly, yeah, it is. You know, those guys have been with Rovers for a few years now, and honestly, I think the timing is right. As long as we have, John Buckley. I know that there are fans out there. Even John T's a massive fan of John Buckley, and he could probably play some good football at League One and maybe even a lower end Championship club, but we've got to push these guys on. They are taking up a residence in the 22-man squad, and the likes of Montgomery are coming through here now. There's other youngsters that are knocking on the door. You know, I got Tijuana are knocking on the door. We've got to get those guys into the first team setup, you know, and we've got to push these, guys who are taking up a space and taking up probably a decent kind of wage in Blackburn Rovers' book. So, in all honesty, Adam Forshaw, Buckley, Joe Costello, it's time for you guys to move on, and let's get Big Val's players in. The players that he thinks or he believes can play his style of football. So, yeah, I'm all about this. So, yeah, Forshaw, you scored a cracking goal, and you did your bit. And I was impressed with you towards the back end of the season where you did run your little socks off. Also, departing the club, a couple of other stingers in here. Dylan McInday, we'll talk about him shortly. Paul Murphy-Worrell, he's gone. Teddy Ramwell, Zhao Sadi, Dan Shaw, Jackson Shorrocks, Bradley Taylor, Jack Vale, another one, Isaac Whitehall, and Nathan Willis. So let's talk about this guy then. Dylan McInday, currently on his way to Wembley with Leyton Orient, that's right. So he's had a good season of football at Chesterfield, absolutely fantastic for them for the early part of the season. And then, that loan was cut short or, kind of tweaked there. And then he made the move to Leyton Orient. And of course, look at them now. They are flying high, 6th place in the table and on their way to Wembley against Charlton. So yes, it's a little hard done by on Dylan McInday. He came with a bit of fanfare. I think Tony Mowbray's signing from Spurs, of course, was a top goal scorer in the Premier League too. But he just never really got his feet under the table at Blackburn Rovers. He showed some signs of the potential that he has, but again, when you look at the age, he's getting on a little bit, and of course we've got to go with the flow here. So don't get, he is going to be fine and dandy. 23 years of age, he'll be 24 this year, I do believe, in August, in fact. So it's time for him to get himself a League One or League Two club, and it looks like he can play at that level. And of course, it might bite us in the ass. It definitely has the potential to bite us in the ass. But let's let him play some football at the top tier level. And finally, of course, it is Jack Vale. Again, showed moments. There's a couple other players down the road, just like him, that promised so much but delivered so little. I was excited. I remember one season he was on, I think, the same season that Dylan McInday was banging in the goals for Spurs. He was banging the goals for Blackburn Rovers in the Premier League too, and I expected him to come on the scene and get in there. But now look at it. He's behind the likes of Harry Leonard. He's behind the likes of Yuki Ohashi. He's also Maktab Gay as well. And I do anticipate Rovers will be revisiting the striking position. Igor Tijuana now is way ahead of him. So Yeah, chance for him to move on. And again, he's played football, I think, on loan at like Motherwell and maybe even some other League Two clubs, But that striker spot, especially for the academy, has been very difficult to fill. And I think the best we've had come through the academy in recent years. Anyway, when I say recent, when it's semi-recent, it's a conundrum. It is a conundrum. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know who our most prolific striker that's come through. Matty Derbyshire's probably the best one I could think of, but that's going back a bit. So Harry Leonard definitely is the best we've had in a while. And I do believe he's probably on his way out on loan as well. So it's going to be an interesting summer. That's right. So that's the retain list, guys. What are you hurt with the most? What news out of that has given you the grumps this Monday? For me, I'm a little bit pissed off at Zach Gilson leaving, and I'm also, a little bit worried about Dylan Markanday. Of course, I do expect him to kick on and get a decent professional career himself, but give him 2 or 3 years and he could be on the other end and giving us a bit of a hiding, whether, if he kicks on in his life. But that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Of course, we go again with Rovers news constantly right here at Blackburn Roverseas over the summer and into the next season. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. We're done.